Welcome to Grand Rock Warehouse, and tonight we are live, and we've got a panel here, and we are going to talk some REO Speedwagon. We're going to talk about our top 10 favorite tracks. This will be fun, so we do want to hear from you in the chat. Let's do it.
Grant is changing the world one track at a time on Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Hey, welcome everybody. We are live. Now, I'm hoping Eric will get here. We're missing one person, but we're going to carry on anyway. So tonight's topic, we are looking at our top. There he is. Let's pop Eric in. Eric, nice to see you.
Louise, guys. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's all right. We're good. You just missed the intro. It's okay. Anyway, so welcome panel. Tonight our topic is we're doing our top 10 REO Speedwagon songs. What a fun topic. It's finally a show that I didn't have to do much work on, and I like that.
It's always good with your schedule, Grant.
I always want to, first of all, welcome the panel. I've got Dave Lubin, we've got DC, we've got Eric here tonight. Great panel. We're psyched to talk about some REO Speedwagon. Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
Great.
I'm doing great. Well,
Right.
actually, if you look at my background and my hat,
Yes.
I'm still recovering from Saturday night for your listeners. Who
Well, Lions had a great run this year. I was pulling all the more for him because one of my best friends was a huge Detroit Lions fan, and he just passed this year.
Oh, no.
And he would have loved the season that they had this year. But they should be in good shape for a few more seasons. I think they're pretty solid. So,
Well, getting rid of all the coaches.
that's the end of
that's the
Detroit
bad
Lions.
thing when you have a good season like that.
Well, that's the end of Detroit Lions review and preview for this year, folks. Just a couple of times I plugged it on this show, but oh well. Anyway, onward. Sorry, Grant.
Welcome to Grant's
Sports Talk.
Sports Show.
Sports talk and music
No more sports.
conversation.
I'll be changing the background the next time I'm on. I
No,
promise.
you're all right. Anyway, we're going to do our top 10 tracks. I think let's go 3, 3, and 4, and we'll just go around. I'm going to start out with DC, and then go to Dave, and then Eric, and then myself, and we're just going to loop around. So if you can mention the track and what album it's on, that'd be great, because I'm going to flash like the album. Normally on these live shows, I get everybody's picks, and I go, okay, so I already know what everyone's doing. Well, I don't know this one. I went, oh, geez. Now we're going to do it anyway. So if you mention something, let me set up the shot, because that's going to not work. It might work. This should work. All right. All right. Let's save this shot, update the layout. Let's see what is happening in the comments section. Let's see. Sydney's here. Sunday is another interview, the entire band. He's in interviewing a band. Webb's here. Webb, nice to see you. Cretan's here. Look at him.
Davey.
Hey, Davey.
Ash, nice to see you. To any sludge metal fans, I highly recommend it. I recommend it too. I have no idea what you're talking about. All right. Well, let's just keep going. Let us know what you think. I don't know if this is one of those bands. Yeah, I'm wearing a damn captain hat tonight. I just got off a contrarian show, so I'm still in contrarian mode.
Yeah, you got to get your
Captain's
bearings straight. For
I got to get my
Warehouse,
bearings straight for doing live. So bear with me while I warm up. What else? Oh, here we go. Lions had their worst game, and I received their hat a day ago after they lost.
Sorry, Steve.
Sorry about that. All right. Well, let's get started. All right. We're hanging out. We're talking music. All right. So I have Earth, a small dog, and his chicken, and his bat. Is anybody picking that off the top of their head?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Dave,
Nothing
give
off
us
that LP.
I mean, who are you, Byron? DC. God damn.
all right.
All right.
Yeah, I will preface that album, though, in title and illustration. That's one of the most out there concepts you'd ever hope to find on an REO Speedwagon cover, with the title of the album and the illustration. That's wacky to the 10th
That's
power.
good.
But anyway, out of all of us, I am at the epicenter of the origin of REO Speedwagon,
Oh,
as
yes.
I live in a suburb of Champaign, Illinois, where the band started at the U of I back in the day.
Yeah.
And they did have a street designated to REO Speedwagon, and there it is. Much to my chagrin, about a month ago when we planned to do this show, I thought, I'm going to drive over there and get my picture taken on REO Speedwagon Way. Guess what, folks? They removed a sign. It's only an honorary street designation. And the last time it came up for a vote, I guess the powers that be in city government said, bring that sign on down. So it's a case of what have you done for me lately, I guess.
Yeah, they don't have any hits.
No, we're done.
We're done. Psh, get them out of there.
Anyway, my history with this band was I liked them enough back in the day and certainly was familiar with all their hits of the 80s and everything. But post that time period, I don't think, honestly, I've listened to very much REO Speedwagon on my own in 40 some years. So this was a revisiting of this catalog to me. And a lot of it was not familiar because I wasn't a huge fan back in the day. But I did delve in there and I was surprised at what I found.
Oh, boy.
So I'll start off with my first pick from 9 Lives.
Okay.
And oddly enough, there's going to be quite a few picks from this album. How about that cover?
You could not produce that cover today.
Unfortunately, you're not allowed to be male and female anymore, I guess.
I don't
Because I don't find any problem with it. It is swanky for sure.
It's swanky.
But the song I'm picking from that album is Take Me. And I was just kind of surprised at how funky the song was, because I guess over the years and not really going back to this catalog, the only thing that's within my cranium here are all those hits they had in the 80s. But this band in different periods was very different as far as what they did and their general approach. And they were more varied in their songs than I had remembered them. But this one starts with electric and acoustic guitar. And then when it gets to the chorus, like I said, gets downright funky. I was stunningly surprised. This is a good tune. And speaking of surprises, for my next pick, this is from the You Can Tune a Piano, but You Can't Tune a Fish. Do you know where your woman is tonight? This was another surprise for me because I do have this album.
It's a good record.
This is the only REO Speedwagon album that I've gone back to over the years. I think this is their best. Shades of the Eagles. And I kind of had totally forgotten that they had recorded this country pop tune, and it is expertly crafted. Again, nothing I would have remembered REO doing, yet here it is. And as I will repeat for a lot of these songs, Gary is just a tremendous guitarist, and he does play some country-styled lead on this song, which was very impressive. There's another side note. When Gary died, my wife and I saw REO Speedwagon's first concert post his death. Now, he hadn't been in the band in a while, but it was a very odd night because it was like 2 days after he had passed, and there were still a lot of the guys that played with him still in the band. So that was a very odd evening. All right, let's move on to, I guess that would be remiss if I didn't pick at least one of those massive hits from the 80s. But which one to pick? And I think this was off of High Infidelity, but I'm not sure. But I will go with I Can't Fight This Feeling. That edges out.
That's on Wheels Are Turning.
Okay. Glad you know the catalog better than I.
I know.
And this band, was really much bigger than how I remember them. I mean, they played Live Aid. They didn't give those spots to chumps. So they were really one of the top American bands of that time period for sure. So I guess that's my my first three in the collection.
Lewis, how are you? Nice to see you. Nice to see everybody.
Hey, Lewis, I saw you gave a special hey to me, so I will give a special hey to you too.
We got 61 people watching, so it's good. It's over. That's right, Jason Rojas. It's over. It's over. Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, you got to be true to your artistic sensibilities, but you got to pay them bills too. So nothing wrong with that.
Yep. All right, cool. Excellent choices, DC. Like I said, everybody in the chat, just keep. I'll try to get to you. Put everybody's up. Man, I cannot talk. Oh, look, Jason Rojas is saying that over and over again.
Just ignore it. It will just scroll by. You don't even have to respond or acknowledge.
Oh, I took care of it already. Anyway, sorry that I was distracted. Dave Lubin, what's your next three?
All right. So yeah, I'll just preface by saying that my history with the band. For two people I hadn't met today, I'm actually originally from Montreal, Quebec. Somehow in my life, I made myself over here to Cleveland, Ohio. But back then, I remember hearing about this album and on Show'em FM, which was our album-oriented rock station, and they kept talking about REO Speedwagon. Go, who is REO Speedwagon? And then they kind of mixed these songs, and they were playing them so frequently. And then I suddenly realized, oh my God, this is like fantastic. This is great. And I was like so impressed with High Infidelity. I really did delve back deep and get some of their older albums, including their oldest albums. So you'll see kind of a mix. There's definitely some mainstream stuff, quite a bit of mainstream stuff on this list. But I start off with like a real deep track from their very first album. So I find their very first album interesting. Sunday's very first album sounds nothing like the band, and it sounds like total garbage. And a perfect example is how I came to be on Grant shows. I was part of the April Wine, and the first April Wine album doesn't sound anything like April Wine, doesn't have Miles Goodwin vocals, and it's pretty lousy. I actually find the first REO Speedwagon, which I own, to be pretty good. It does not sound anything like REO Speedwagon. It's a different singer, Terry Luttrell. But it's like weird, funky, psychedelic, and almost has like Partridge Family or Cowsills harmonies in it. It's bizarre. And a great example of this is a song called 5 Men Were Killed Today. Don't ask me why I really like this song, but it's so different and it's so against type that it has sort of that 70s sound that doesn't sound REO Speedwagon at all. But I actually really do like that album. There's other good songs on it, like 157. I think 157 Riverside is from that as well. But that particular song, I really quite like it. So anyways, that was my number 10. My number 9, another deep track called River of Life. And that's from the album This Time We Mean It. So this was the last album to feature Mike Murphy. It has a lot of guitar. It's a lot more bluesy. So my first two songs are, again, they're kind of against type of what REO Speedwagon is, but or in the REO Speedwagon that I came to really enjoy the band. But you know, as I said, I went deep into their catalog and picked up a few of their older albums, and I found, yeah, I really do like, you know, the different sounding stuff that they had. And my number 8, now here I'm getting a little more mainstream. It was one of the last hits they have. They still play it in concert, and that's That Ain't Love from their 12th album, Life as We Know It. It has this really cool build-up. It has like those good, you know, build-up to Kevin Cronin's vocals, and he's, you know, very emotional. And apparently during this album, the tensions between Kevin Cronin and Gary Rickraft were starting to build, but it didn't stop them from turning out, you know, some really great music. Again, I've always really liked this song. I've always found it has this kind of, I always like the build up with the catchy chorus. So those are my first 3.
Awesome. Excellent choices. Damn, you guys are good. All right. Thank you, Dave. Let's send it over to Eric. Eric, what's your 3 picks?
All right. So yeah, my quick background, I'm probably going to be more toward some of the more popular songs. I'm kind of like DC. I haven't listened to these guys. Great band, but over the years, I just kind of just lost little touch with them. But I wanted to say, I didn't realize DC lived in Illinois, but where Kevin Cronin grew up wasn't too far where my boyhood home was in Oak Lawn, and he went to Brother Rice High School, which would have been a choice if I didn't move to the south suburbs. That would have been a choice for high school. Gary Richrath, because I live just outside of Peoria now. Gary Richrath grew up in Peoria, went to East Peoria High School, which is 10 minutes from my house.
You know what? I have geographical connections to everybody on the panel tonight.
There you go.
I lived in Ohio for many, many years. Youngstown, Columbus, Cincinnati. Very familiar with Dave's talking about with the Cleveland area and everything. Of course, Grant's an Ohio guy, and now with you in Illinois. So
yeah,
connections.
Very cool. Very cool. So my first pick from 1976 off the REO record, I Believe Our Time is going to come.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Written by Kevin Cronin. It's a song about hope and optimism in a relationship. It's a great early REO song. It's weird. I actually prefer the live version off of You Get What You Play For here. And I'm not a big live guy because I prefer the audio and visual experience. But this is a cool track by them. I just always really like this one. So
excellent.
That's my number 10. Here's one for my number 9 off the Hits record. I Don't Want to Lose You from 1988. So this was one of the newer tracks along with Here With Me. And I guess in my research on this song, this was a cover for a 1983 song by a band called I-10, who also wrote the song. They wrote the song Alone by Heart, which became popular. I never heard of them before. So I actually went and listened to them. It's okay. But, you know, this one here, this is a great rocking tune with cool guitar riff by Rich Rath at the end of the solo, and it also that the ending of that solo always kind of reminded me of Boston's "Don't Look Back." But anyhow, Rich Rath and Gratzer would leave the band following this compilation release. Yeah, I've always loved that song. I Don't Want to Lose You. So
excellent.
All right, then my number 8 here probably could be higher. Off of the third album of the same name, Riding the Storm Out.
Okay.
So the studio version, of course, was sung by Mike Murphy. This was penned by Gary Richrath. I like the studio version, but the live version is the one that's off of You Get What You Play For. The live version is played faster. And again, I like the studio version, but this is an example where I think the live version is the preferable one. If you listen to the studio version is like you listen with the headphones on. The live version, you crank it on your stereo so your neighbors can hear you. So it's a good example of a time where, you let the guitarist and the keyboardist just rip it up on a track without, giving way to the AM radio airplay. I wish we can get back to that in modern music, but anyhow, Riding the Storm Out. Mike Murphy, as you guys may or may not know, ended up playing keyboards with Billy Vera and the Beaters, who had the popular hit At This Moment, who anybody my age will know that was the Alex and Ellen song from Family Ties. So anyhow, that's my first three.
All right, cool. Excellent. And by the way, that album cover that I've presented is the cover that has Kevin Cronin on the cover.
Yes.
Because he was there, and then they airbrushed him out.
Yeah, and then they
so we're gonna that's him on it there. So all right, let's keep going. Well, looky here. Look at this. We've got a female in the audience, Annie T.
Well. Welcome, Annie T.
We always like females.
Yes.
She's a casual fan, ladies and gentlemen. Just wanted to let you know. Rick, top 40. Gary Richrath is such a power on stage. That live concert from Denver that was broadcast was so good. Great band. I've seen them several times live. I don't know if Annie T has because she's so casual about things.
That's one thing that one thing that really came through is a new appreciation for Gary's guitar playing.
Yeah.
Just revisiting this catalog, man, he is a monster.
Yep.
And Neil on keys is very, very good too. Had a lot of
they were a hot shit band. They were a hot shit band. Yeah,
and they played off each other very well, trading lead parts and everything. And he used a lot of piano, which was different than most of the bands of the era. They're more electronic. Electric piano was where he was at, and organ.
That's all right. Annie likes it, so you don't have to worry about her. She'll
be just fine.
She'll be just fine. All right, I'm going to start out with my first pick, and I've ranked mine, but they're not really ranked. How do I get 10 tracks? You should see my honorable mentions. Jesus. All right, so there's no way I can even do this, but I thought, well, I'm going to start out with early records and just go through them. And when I get to 10, I get to 10. So I'm going to start out first from REO, 1972 REO second album, the first album with Kevin Cronin, and I'm going to go with the song Golden Country. Heavy, great, phenomenal guitar work. A little bit of trivia. This album never even dented the top 200 here in the United States. The debut sold more than this record. It did finally go gold in 1981, but this was a failure. But man, I like the whole damn record. Catchy. The songwriting's good. Because once you get Kevin in there, I think everything gelled. I mean, whether you like Kevin or not, there was something about that chemistry. So that's my number 10. My number 9, I am going to go with Riding a Storm Out. Now, the version that I'm going with is the Kevin Cronin version. So if you want that version on physical media, no, I want the studio version, the original studio version with his vocals on it. You can get there's a box set comp that came out in 2014 called the early years 71 to 77. It's on there. There's also like a best of that's kind of has a red cover. It's a 3 CD set. It's on there. But this was a downloadable track back in the day from Rock Band. Now, the thing is, Son of a Poor Man's come out off this record with his vocals. Maybe they don't remix. Why don't they bring the album out with the original vocals on it? That's my question.
Well, they're all fighting again, right? Bruce Hall.
Fight now, but that's Bruce Hall. Bruce Hall's not in this version. He's not on this record.
I'll hit the streets in Champaign and see what I can dig up.
But I would just think we're getting tracks kind of dribbling out, you know.
Sure.
Why don't we get the whole record the way it was? Obviously, his vocals weren't wiped. Just saying. Let's get this on the road, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I'm getting old, and I like to hear it before I'm wearing a dirt shirt. Oh, here we go. Marlon says, Golden Country. Right, of course.
Country.
Look, Ash has never seen that record. Well, not this one, because that's got Kevin Cronin on the cover.
Yeah.
In his cowboy shirt. It's cool. Your face is so red. Annie T's getting all worked up. Please don't leave any
Bruce
marks.
Hall.
Don't leave any marks.
You know, Grant, the bass players normally don't get that kind of love as far as the adulation.
No.
But Annie's feeling it for Bruce Hall.
Evidently. I don't know if she wants today's Bruce Hall or 1977 Bruce Hall, though. I'll have to ask.
I imagine 77.
All right, my next pick, my number 8, I'm going to go with a song off the Cow album from 1976. That's what they call it, Cow.
Yeah.
6th studio album, peaked at 159 on the charts. Things are looking up. We're up to 159. So I'm going to go. Well, this is also the album that Kevin Cronin came back in. I don't care for those Mike Murphy. There's nothing there for me. I didn't pick anything off of. I'm a Kevin fan. So this is after a 4-year absence after he left, well, during Riding Storm Out. Anyway, so I'm going to go with the song Keep Pushing. Come on. Come on. Great. I don't think I picked any live stuff. I was just kind of sticking to the studio albums, but you're more than welcome to pick any of those. Let's see. Okay, Annie T weighing in 1977,
Of course,
ladies and gentlemen.
that's the version she wants of Bruce Hall.
Super Strike. Foreigner and Styx are my favorite AOR. Hey, I love both. You don't get any argument from me. Kevin could be a much with his singing style, so I dig it. Burning is so inspired from tonight's discussion, he's going to start taking bass lessons and grow his hair out like Bruce Hall. Oh, wait a minute. Bruce Hall was the father-in-law for a friend of mine since ended. Oh, geez.
Interesting.
Yeah, Justin agrees with me. He's not a Mike Murphy fan. I mean, there's something... I don't know. There's a couple of live things. Go out on YouTube and look at Midnight Special. There is the footage with Mike Murphy singing, and it's just not good. I'm sorry.
Kind of reminded me. He reminds me a little bit in my ears of Tom Johnston from the Doobie Brothers. Again, kind of.
Yes, keep pushing, said the elder. Well,
that may show up again later on.
Yeah.
Kevin has a lot of hair. He still does.
Yeah.
Keep pushing his top 10. Super Strike, quote unquote. Hell yeah, Grant. Grant, hell yeah. All right, let's
first hell yeah of the evening.
I like it. All right, let's keep going. I'm going to throw it over to Mr. DC Toontime for his next 3.
All right, my next 3, and this is again surprisingly my choices from the album 9 Lives.
Oh,
and let's throw some hard rock in the mix with "Heavy on Your Love." Great guitar riff, and let's give some credit to Neil Doherty for the keyboard bits on these tunes, which really did add a lot to the proceedings. That was another thing that became more apparent to me, just how well the keys and the guitar played off of each other as the two basic instruments on the band, not the bass playing, but those two guys, Grant.
I don't care for Mike Murphy.
But I mean, those two guys really played off each other very well. As I went through this catalog, and that realization struck me front and center. All right. Again, from 9 Lives. Back on the road again.
Oh, yes.
And this is a rockin' tune with a great melody, and it allows the boys to work it out instrumentally. Sometimes I kind of forgot about REO. They could rock, but they were just so overshadowed by their pop success with those ballads. And again, Gary and Neil really shined. For my third pick of this go round, this is from the album Lost in a Dream. It is the song Lost in a Dream, which to this old cat sounds like Starship melded with Ambrosia. Again, the approaches of this band astound me as I revisit this catalog. I didn't expect this from them. Like I said, this is earlier on in their career. And it's got a slightly Steely Dan vibe mixed into that lead guitar, those lead guitar passages. Yeah, it's just a really great song. It's stellar, and like I said, it was so unexpected as I went back and listened to this stuff. So what does this teach us? Maybe at times it's good to revisit a band you may be a bit lukewarm about, and you may be surprised at what you find.
Exactly.
And there was much more here on this catalog than what I was expecting. So tip of the cap to REO.
Excellent. Elder of Rock, though, does say this is a terrible
album. Yeah.
Terrible.
Well, they're kind of jaundicey.
Nah, that's the lighting in the back.
Good comparison on that song, though, DC, with the Jefferson Starship Ambrosia. I kind of hear that in that song, too.
It hit me just because I had never listened fully to this album before. When I played that track, I'm thinking, I'm hearing the Starship and I'm hearing the Ambrosia. So I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Sydney says, great pick, DC. Love that album.
Well,
ignore
thank you,
Grant's Mike Murphy hatred. I think Mike assaulted Grant at one point. Could be. I'm dazzling. We'll give you another one. Well, we already gave you that. You've seen these before, but Apple, with the Apple update, they have improved the storm cloud and rain.
Grant's like Max Headroom.
I am.
Thank you, Nathan. I do what I can here.
I'm just a talk show host. Oh, Yvonne says we need a Doobie Brothers.
You and I did one, Grant.
We already did one. Yvonne,
where have you been, Yvonne?
Where have you been? I thought you were a subscriber, a fan.
What the
hell? Man, does he have a wrench?
He does.
Man.
Well, we might need to reconsider.
I paid the full. You betcha I have. If we're going to do it, let's do it right. Hello, you don't like his voice. You don't like it, Grant. It's all good. Curious about the live footage. Was Mike bad live? Sydney, I just told you how to find it. God, do people listen to me?
Max Headroom.
You're throwing them off with all your special effects.
You know what? I might do a Max Headroom thing. I need to. Maybe I need to come on here as Max Headroom.
That'd be something.
That's your Halloween show.
Yeah.
Oh, Sydney says Yvonne only watches the episode he's been on. That's obvious. Well, you have to press. Oh, why do I have to hold everyone's hand?
In this age of technocracy.
Was that 3, DC?
I believe you got 3 in there. That's
excellent. All right, let's get back on track. You should have saw me the last episode. I was all worked up because it was a cheap trick thing that came up and it got me upset. And you got to watch out with Cheap Trick, because if you bitch about those Tom Werman albums, it fires me up. Okay, here we go. Steven, Keep the Fire Burning from Good Trouble. Great song it is. All right, sorry. Let's go over to wait a minute. We're over to what's your name?
DC.
No, it's Dave.
Is it Dave next?
Yeah.
Oh, it is me.
Oh shit. See, I get all worked up.
All right, I forgot too. I couldn't remember.
Annie says for me to calm down. And Ernesto doesn't want my head to. I can't, look how big it is now. It's huge. Anyway, Grant, think about blood pressure. I'm fine. I'm all right. I need a Xanax. Wait a minute. Tom Werman is an awful producer. Worst cheap. I almost deleted your ass right there, boy. Almost. All right, Dave, go. Sorry, I'm shooting the shit. All right.
All right, we're ready.
Yes, maybe.
All right, I'll do my 7, 6, and 5 then. All right, I like your Golden Country pick from REO 2, but I got another one here that this is a song I've always really liked. So, I finally got to see REO Speedwagon live about 4 years ago. For the longest time, I used to say, or was it 3 years ago, they're my favorite band that I never got to see live, and I thought of all these songs they were going to sing, and they sang all the regulars, and I thought, one song I really like is Music Man. Well, they shocked me, because then not only did they play Music Man from REO 2, it was the first song they played that night. And yeah, REO 2, that was the first one with Kevin Cronin, and that's when REO Speedwagon starts to sound like REO Speedwagon as we know, and of course you get the vocalist, but even the sound and the way it meshed and all that. And they opened up with Music Man. I love that song. It was a great song to open up with. It has like this great, rockin' beat. You got his vocals, and glad they did that one. So that was a nice surprise for me. Number 6, I'll go with. It's definitely there's no such thing as a deep track on High Infidelity, of course, but it wasn't one of the hits. But it's my 6th favorite song, I think, and that's "Follow My Head" or "Follow My Heart." That was so this song bridges "Don't Let Him Go" and "Keep on Loving You" perfectly. Just like it just meshes those two songs because it is something in between a rocker and a ballad. And so it's just that meshing in between those first 3 songs in the album. And I mean, I'm kind of letting out the steam and all that right here and telling people what's on this list. But I can tell you that those first 3 songs are the 3 songs that are on the list. I mean, every song on that album is fantastic. So number 5 is indeed the amazing hit that got them started, that got me to know about them, and that's "Keep on Loving You." But here's the amazing thing about the song. They never had a song in the top 40. Never had one song in the top 40, and yet all of a sudden they go from never having a song in the top 40, in spite of having a whole bunch of studio albums put out. They had like this scattered popularity amongst, hardcore rocker type, and they get a number 1 hit. And it was like, and Kevin Cronin has talked about, he knew it. He started playing this song on keyboards, and he started working with Rich Raff, and it was like the two of them were kind of playing over each other. And it just worked perfectly because the band was kind of like, are we really going to play this like sappy ballad? And then Rich Raff was almost playing like anger guitar. And then they came up with this perfect, amazing power ballad that still sounds fantastic to this day. On August 1st, 1981, it was the 17th song played on MTV. Not that that meant anything to me because I lived in Canada at the time, but and it finished as the number 10 song on Billboard in 1981. And Grant and I did a show on the best albums of 1981. I said High Infidelity was my favorite album of 1981, only to find out that I messed up because it was in fact released in 1980, but it was the number 1 album 1981. So that's why I thought it was. That's why I thought it was released in 1981. Okay. So there you go.
Excellent.
I never reflected on that, Dave, in that this band had a hell of a history before they had any chart success. You don't normally find that 81, that's over 10 years that this band was together with.
Well, I guess they had this huge popularity in the Midwest, or like certainly amongst like hardcore.
Oh, where I am right now,
exactly.
We get bombarded with REO Speedwagon.
No, but once they took off, we all got bombarded with them. But I guess prior to that, it was kind of I guess they were played on AOR stations across the country, and yeah. But I mean, that album was that it's been talked about on the show. What's the perfect album? I think that's one of them that could be nominated for the perfect album. There's not a bad song on it. I mean,
it's a perfect record.
Memorable. Yeah.
I mean, my whole gateway drug to High Infidelity was that. Well, I remember it was out, but we used to play this. What was the Journey album that has Who's Crying Now on it? Escape?
Escape, yeah.
Okay. We would do Shoot the Loop in beautiful, scenic downtown Marion, Ohio. Now you're not allowed because they don't want any ruffians shooting the loop.
Yeah.
But back in the 80s, it was free and easy. So we used to get in my friend Barb's. She had it in Monte Carlo. Or her folks did, and she got to drive it. So it'd be me, my buddy John, my friend Becky, and we would cruise and listen to High Infidelity and Escape over and over and over. It just became part of my DNA. But Escape's yet another good album too that we could be talking about. I'm just saying, throwing it out there.
That year for me, it was those two, and then also the Rush album, Moving Pictures, and then of course The Nature of the Beast. I mean, those are the 4 for me. So.
Yeah, 1981 was a good year. But all right, so Dave, was that 4?
I've done. That's it. That's
I mean 3.
That's
God,
3.
I can't keep track.
That's
I'm
my 3.
Distracted tonight. All right, who's up now? Okay, Eric. You're up.
Well, I'm going to piggyback off of what David was just talking about. That's my next pick. Keep on Loving You.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you touched on it about they never broke the top 40, top 50. Crazy when you think about it. But this was a quintessential power ballad as they became known as the power ballads. Great background vocals, hook laden, catchy. This song, this album just propelled these guys into the stars. So I heard it, 1,000th time. I still like it. So next track, 1982's album, Good Trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Keep the Fire Burning.
Where is it?
An underrated song. Two great solos, one by Dottie and of course Rich Rath. This song reached number 7 on the Billboard, and 40 years later, you hardly ever hear it on the radio. It's like the forgotten REO hit.
And it sounds exactly like High Infidelity. Same production style, everything. But was it the songs? What was it?
1982. I don't know. I mean, that's still in the wheelhouse there. The 38 Special Strength and Numbers was out. I mean, it's not like it's, I don't know. It's a great bass line by Bruce Hall. Great drum fills by Gretzer on this. Richard Page from Mr. Mister, background vocals.
Yeah.
So that's my number, whatever that is, 8, 9, 10. Here's my next pick.
Yes, sir.
Off of the 1978 album with the great title, You Can Tune a Piano, but you can't. Say You Love Me or Say Goodnight. The back and forth, or the interchange between Rich Rath and Dottie on this song, is absolutely killer. Okay, DC mentioned this earlier. There's a lot of talent in this band. No disrespect to any of them. Rich Rath and Dottie were the blasting cap. The band doesn't work without them. Yeah. That's my personal opinion. I just listen to this song and you'll understand why. Also, Grant mentioned it. Go on YouTube, Midnight Special, the live version of the song. Oh my goodness gracious!
Yep,
they were like Night Ranger back in the day. A fantastic live band. I've seen them 3 times. Actually, I think they did this song, but they didn't disappoint all 3 times. Yeah, fantastic band. And you're right, DC. Growing up in the Midwest, especially here in Illinois, yeah. If you didn't hear Survivor, Styx, Chicago, Cheap Trick, REO, just constant.
Yeah, I'm a fairly recent resident of Illinois, but knowing the people that I've met since I've been here and what you're saying, it was a heavy dose of all those artists. Yep.
This is an interesting comment that I need to make a comment on. Sydney says Gary was too talented to be replaced. Well, there obviously was trouble within the band, but the thing is, how can you really replace the guy? Because he had such a distinct tonality. He had a distinct style of playing, and he played in this band for years. How do you go about changing him out? But if you change him out, it totally changes the sound of the band.
Yeah, you could. He's one of those guys, and that's another realization as I went over this catalog these many years later. The guy's approach to playing, that even if you brought in another guitarist playing the same notes, he doesn't have that ferocity and that fluidity of the way he played. And I mean, I had a whole new respect for Gary's playing going through this catalog again. And he's really stellar, just a stellar player.
Yeah. All right. Was that
underappreciated?
That as well, yes.
Was that 3?
Yeah, that was 3. Grant.
How am I?
I'm keeping track and trying to write them down for you.
Someone has to keep track for me because obviously I can't pay attention. I'm looking at the comments. I'm clicking the button. Jesus, I'm all stressed out. All right, cool. My next 3, I'm going to go with, and as I said, I just kind of went by the years. I'm going to pick 2 off of this record. You keep thinking, great, you're picking all the great normal stuff. I know, that's what I like. So my number 7, I'm going to go with Roll with the Changes. It was mentioned in the comments. Was this a hit? I don't think they had any singles until High Infidelity, right, gentlemen? That was it. 2 great songs on this record that started off. Roll with the Changes still gets played on FM rock radio. Great piano, great solo from Gary. Great songwriting from Kevin. Great. What a way to lead off an album. And
it actually made it to 48. It did.
Did it? Okay. Yeah. But this album did make it up to what 29, I think, on the charts. Sold 2 million copies in the United States, so it was successful.
Now I got one of them still.
Okay, so my number 6, I'm going to go with "Time for Me to Fly." Come on, that's a great song, absolutely great.
Yeah,
And
this
I always-
album's solid through and through. You're
it's
right,
solid
Grant.
record.
Yeah.
This is one of their best records. Once they took over and started producing themselves, everything changed. They knew what to do. So, and that's the brilliance of Rich Rath and Kevin Cronin together producing. And Alan, too. Alan produced, too. But yeah, I should have to go into these songs. Everyone's heard them, but these are the songs I like. I love it. I love it all, but these really stand out to me. All right, so that's my 8, 7, and 6. Let's go over to DC. What's your
All right, we're
Final
winding down the final 4, and as I was touting Neil's keyboard playing, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and pick a tune right off of this Tuna Fish album.
Yes, sir.
And it is going to be "Say You Love Me" or "Say Goodnight." The catchy melody and the keys here are the real tour de force. And Gary also adds some tasty licks. And also, and I don't think he's still here, Marlon, there's also a searing sax solo for you to enjoy. This is early. I think it's the Cow album that I'm pulling this one from. Keep pushing.
Keep pushing.
Yeah.
If you're going with the studio version, it's on here.
Yeah. What occurred to me when re-listening to this is that opening guitar riff sounds like Thin Lizzy to me. It's catchy again, which
you're right.
is in my wheelhouse. Catchy and popular sounding are not bad words in my music lexicon. There's nice lead and background vocals here. It's a toe tapper, and you got some slide guitar from Gary on this one.
That's great.
Number 2 from the album Riding the Storm Out is Riding the Storm Out, or Riding the Storm Out.
Yeah, it's riding.
Going back to the roots of this band. It just keeps on building and building until it just explodes.
Was there a certain version though?
Well, I picked the studio version, but the live version I think is the way to go. It's just got more energy.
Well, we can put that up too.
Well, there you go. It's a slightly faster pace, as is usually the case in live performances. Nice keyboard accents. And I guess the original there, the studio is Mike Murphy on vocals.
What?
Since we were talking the studio. Okay.
Yeah.
The dreaded Mike. Oh, Mike Murphy.
He's fine. He just doesn't have any personality. Look at the Midnight Special footage. It's just it looks like the guy just got done working on my car. I don't know.
I get
nothing against that, but
I know.
It just kind of,
again with this tune.
Looks
a stellar lead by Gary again. I mean, that is one of the top 3 things that really resonated with me as I went back and listened to all these albums. That guy was stellar. All right, drum roll.
I'm ready.
My top.
Maybe.
And I don't rank these as I like them, but
I like them all the same, me personally.
My iPod that I've got 10,000 of my favorite songs on, this is the only REO Speedwagon tune that's on my iPod. And it is from, again, the Tuna Fish album.
Mm-hmm.
And it is an instrumental, the Unidentified Flying Tuna Trot. This is swanky, gritty, funky. Starts out with a bombastic piano guitar driven open. Anthemic. The keys and the guitar both shine. Bass and drums for that matter too. And the boys all wrap it up in 2 minutes and 17 seconds.
Oh, baby.
Ow.
Get in. Get out.
Out.
Exactly.
My work is done here.
If anybody's been keeping track of this whole exercise, I think this is the album that's probably been all the tracks have been picked.
I know practically the whole album. I mean, we should go through. I bet it's all of them.
Look at this. Sydney says, DC, you're killing it.
Oh, I'm going to shake him down. I'm going to Champaign tomorrow. See if I can find him downtown Champaign and say,
I bet he's hanging out.
Pally, you owe me a shekel or two.
Where is Michael Murphy today?
Maybe hanging out in Champaign.
There's the music nut.
Hey, John.
John, how are you?
Webb mentioned early on he wanted to see Dementia Cat if I could get him. He's really a little squirrely here tonight. And there he is. Say hi to the folks. There you go. All right, I'm done.
I see Mike Murphy is staying indoors riding a storm out. Heck yeah. There he is, Johnny Music Nut, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, John.
There he is.
I didn't know we were including pets. My little King Cavalier Charles Spaniel or whatever, he was scratching at the door trying to get in.
Oh, we love the pets. We love the pets.
Had I known he was invited, he would have.
Absolutely.
He would have come in. He would have made his picks. And
wait a minute, we've had a death. Not sure if you guys know, but Melanie
Sapka.
Who's that?
I got a brand new pair of roller skates.
Oh.
You got a brand new key. She died a long time ago, though.
That's what I think.
Ash. Long, maybe
long
even
time
a year ago.
Yeah.
Maybe even a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
She was
Doesn't
a very.
REO have a song called "The Flying Turkey Trot"?
I think they do.
They do.
Yeah.
It's on the live album.
Yeah.
It's off the first. Isn't it on the first album?
Yeah, I think that's right.
I can't remember. All right, cool. Thank you, DC, for your wonderful picks. Let's throw it over now to Mr. Dave Lubin.
All right, so we got our number 4-1. So there's the next two. I think they're on all. The next two, I think they're on all our lists. But to me, it's because they are. If I have to consider what are the signature REO Speedwagon songs, I think it's these two because they're just such outstanding live songs. They're so high energy, and that is Riding the Storm Out. I have number 4.
Yep.
Roll with the Changes. I have number 3. Riding the Storm Out. I'll go with the Mike Murphy version. I just prefer studio versions to live versions. But I do like that live version, the one on that live album. I actually have it on another album. I have it on a compilation album of 1979. It's got a whole bunch of their hits. But that was the one that actually became a hit, was the live version. It actually hit number 97. I think that was the first time they had anything hit the top 100. Gary Richrath wrote that song. I don't think anybody's mentioned that. And this was the song that started actually kind of putting them on the map. This song actually got them some radio play. I know that we got Chicago folks here, so you know that they definitely were getting some Midwest play. And Riding the Storm Out. I mean, it's just such a great rocker, and it just brings the energy. And then Roll with the Changes. That's how I knew it had reached number 48. I did my research on it. I actually had heard that song played on Show My FM. I just didn't know it was REO Speedwagon until after I got into the High Infidelity album. And you just get everything in that. You got the piano, the guitar, the drums. I mean, everything is. It's like everybody's outdoing each other, and it just you put together the song that just gets everybody going in the audience, and it's just a fantastic tune. I've seen actually on YouTube when they were touring with Styx and REO Speedwagon go out and do this song together, and that's a lot of fun, and it's just a great tune. So my number 2 is the opening song on High Infidelity. It is my second favorite song, and that is Don't Let 'Em Go. As I said, not a bad song on this album, but the first song is actually my favorite. I like everything from that intro, that drum guitar mix into Kevin singing, and it just kicks off the album perfectly. And it was a hit. It was a hit, got to number 26, but if you listen to rock radio in the day, it didn't matter where you were. It was played all over the place. It seemed like it was as big a hit as maybe the second biggest hit in the album, at least when it came out. So Keep On Loving You was the first one. That one I felt like I was hearing all the time, but it's a fantastic song.
Fantastic.
Actually, I have to say, so when I was talking about when I saw them in Niagara Falls, so I had seen them play on YouTube, and every single one of those concerts, I'd seen them open up with that song. So on the one hand, it was like, oh great, they played Music Man, but then I was sitting in panic. Are they not going to play Don't Let 'Em Go? But they did. But they put it somewhere in the middle of the show. So what's my number one? My number one's an interesting choice. It was the very, very last top 40 hit they had. It was from the Hits album. It was a bonus song, and it was Here With Me. So in some ways, it's kind of like, for me anyway, it was almost taking a great composition and almost kind of redoing it in a sense, but it just sounded better to me. Maybe because I didn't hear it as frequently, but by the late 80s, I was more of a casual listener to REO Speedwagon, and then they came out with this song and said, oh my God, they've still got it. This song is fantastic. And I did own that hit CD, and it's completely forgotten. It's gone AWOL from any set list. It's gone. I never hear this on radio anymore, but I did used to hear it at the time, and it's definitely on very frequently on one of my playlists. I really enjoy listening to that one. And I think it's just I think it's the last great song that accentuates Kevin Cronin's vocals so well. So
it was an end of the era.
That was it. Yeah, it was almost like that was like a cherry on top type of finish for me. I mean, they had other albums after that, but I'll
never
be honest,
the same.
I didn't pay much attention. So
Good song.
Good song. Excellent pick, Dave. Holy crap. It's good. I have it in my honorable mentions.
Same.
All right. Eric. Dazzle me.
My last four. This one's been mentioned off their 6th album, REO in '76, going with Keep Pushing.
Oh, yeah.
Even credit where credit was due here. Kevin Cronin, really stellar playing on the rhythm guitar on this one. At least he played it live when I saw him. It's another uplifting song by these guys, which outside of some of their ballads, it seems to be their MO. It's good sing-along chorus. I never seem to turn this one off if it pops up on the radio if I'm in the car or something. Just a fun, energetic song from their early days off the Cow album. Next up, I've got off of, well, we've mentioned it. You can't tune a fish or piano or whatever.
You can tune a piano, but you can't
tune that fish. Roll with the changes.
Oh, yeah.
It's a rock anthem. A lot of early REO fans can still rock and listen to that album and just hold it like dear because, it gets, they became a ballad band. It's almost kind of like REO is very similar to like Chicago. You have those absolute stellar, fantastic years with the late, great Terry Kath. Yep. And then here comes the Jason Sheff era after Peter Cetera left in the 80s. I love a lot of that stuff. But those Kath years, REO is very similar. It's kind
That's a good analogy. That's very astute observation, Eric.
Yeah. So again, a fun, vibrant song, feel good song, song about being resilient, adapting to changes while you press on. There's certain bands, Eddie Money, Boston, Huey Lewis and the News, The Outfield, REO Speedwagon's in that group. Whenever I need to be put in a good mood, I tend to put on one of these guys' songs. That's just anyhow.
It's the power of music.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, my number 2 off of High Infidelity. Dave mentioned it. I think everybody did. Don't Let 'Em Go. Number 24 on the Billboard 100. Terrific driving beat. Fantastic guitar work by Rich Rath. Dottie, I love the little lick he's got in the chorus. Love that. It maintains that early sound as they kind of move into that commercial era of them. I've seen these guys 3 times. All 3 times they opened up the show with this song, and it's great. And it was a great opener. All of them. All right, my number 1 may surprise some people. Off the 1984 album "Wheels Are Turning."
Yes, sir.
I Don't Want to Know.
Oh, it's freaking great.
Great song.
Cronin's song, number 29, the Billboard Hot 100. It's 1984. It feels like it's 1978 with this throwback type of feel to this tune.
Yeah.
To me, this has all the elements of what makes this band great. You got the terrific bass line by Bruce Hall. Gratzer pounding the backbeat with the drums. You got Gary, of course, being Gary. Neil is absolutely just fantastic on the keyboards. And to me, one of my favorite Cronin vocals. I want to know why this wasn't a higher charting hit.
I don't know why it wasn't higher.
Strange,
charting.
but yeah, I don't want to know. That's my number one.
It's a total throwback to like old
is,
REO Speedwagon, and it fits perfectly.
Yeah.
It's a great track, great production.
Yeah.
I don't know why it didn't do anything.
Strange. 1984, we're starting in that glam metal era. Here comes, MTV starting to get a little popular,
But they used to play this on the radio. This is like the first track they played. And I remember hearing it back in the day, and I'm going, oh, yeah, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the only song on there that sounds like that. I mean, that's
One
really...
Lonely Night, I think that they got a little bit of airplay. I'm trying to see. That was... Oh,
yeah, it got some...
Can't Fight This Feeling kind of took the...
That's a great song.
Yeah.
All right. The production had a pop. Yeah, they made a video for I Don't Want to Know, and it's
pretty funny.
It's just funny. It's silly. All right, let's see. All right, my okay. I'm just gonna do my let's see. Wait a minute. Did I not do one? Oh, Grant, you're such a ding dong. I guess I'm doing my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right.
I missed one of them. My number 5. These are all from the same record. This is my second favorite REO Speedwagon album. I could have picked more. You're getting me into that period where I can't hardly pick. It's like picking your favorite kid. Number 5, Back on the Road Again. One of the best no Kevin. Kevin's singing backgrounds, but Bruce Hall does a great job. It is rocking. It's good songwriting, good production from Kevin Beamish. I dig it. Kevin's also the one that did Good Trouble and High Infidelity, just for you know. So it's like that trifecta there. So Back on the Road Again. My 2 I might even put these at my number 1 and number 2 because I really like them, even though I'm grouping them with albums, but these are probably my number 1, number 2. Only the Strong Survive, which no one has mentioned.
Honorable mention.
God, it's one of the greatest Gary Rickrath songs ever. Great guitar playing. It's wonderful. The song, my favorite song on 9 Lives is Easy Money, which is also a Gary song. I think Easy Money's freaking great. My favorite song on that whole record. Because we know at this time that Kevin Cronin was going through writer's block. So Gary had to handle most of the songwriting on it. That's why there's so few Kevin's songs on it. So Gary had to handle most of it. So that probably leads us to believe that's why White Rock's so hard too, But anyway, yeah, Easy Money. No one mentioned Easy Money. God, they used to play that on the radio all the time. Yeah, Video for One Lonely Night. All right, my number 2. I'm going to go with the entire High Infidelity album. In Reality. How can you pick just a couple of songs off of that record? It's a perfect record. Don't Let Him Go, Kevin Cronin, which absolutely brilliant. Take It on the Run, brilliant. Those guys, people don't really talk about it. We talk about Gary being such a great guitar player, but we don't talk about how good a songwriter he was. I mean, it's not like REO hit it out of the park with each song. No. Well, what's really good is really good. You know what I mean? So, but man, gee, many Christmas.
I'm getting a vibe from you, Grant, that
what's the vibe?
REO may even reach the plateaus of your beloved Styx. Would you say that you prefer REO to Styx, or is Styx here to REO?
Well,
I'm picking out the love for this band.
Oh, I love
pretty
REO.
high level. Pretty high level.
Oh, I dig it big time.
Okay.
Yeah, but Styx was a lot earlier. That's when I was like 13 and got into it. And,
Hmm.
that has a special place.
Oh,
REO
sure.
came later, but still, if I'm in beautiful downtown Marion, Ohio, with all the beautiful scenery and all the businesses that are bustling and the people are out on the street having a good time, and people walking their pets, and it's so joyous and beautiful Marion, Ohio. I want to be shooting the loop, listening to High Infidelity and Journey Escape. I can't get out of that mode. So
Nothing
it does
wrong
take
with
me right
that.
back. So it's great.
And the music hits us that way, and they get a lot of bands get shit on because folks will say they're too ballad heavy or whatever. But those ballads mean a lot to people. Last time, like I say, when we saw REO, it was an outdoor venue. In fact, it was just like a city celebration. They brought them in. And when they started playing some of those ballads, there were numerous couples all over the place just slow dancing. That's how music resonates with you.
It does.
Ballad.
100%.
There's a great Dave. There's a great interview. Pete from Sea and Tranquility interviewed Dennis DeYoung a few years back, and Dennis even said the same thing. He's like, "Yeah, guys like us, we want to hear Queen of Spades. We want to hear somebody. But if you're there with the girl and Babe or Lady comes on, guess what you're doing, guys? You're dancing and you're singing along with them. So
And it's
everybody loves the cheese.
It's all going to work out in the end for you, fellas.
Yep.
Listen to this quote from Sydney. 9 Lives is better than any 80s Aerosmith. Thoughts on that, ladies and gentlemen? Is that possible? Look at this. Webb's DC's biggest fan, Webb.
Thank you,
DC
Webb.
pulls it together. It's all good. All right, let me go over my honorables, and then I'll throw it around to everybody else since it's all me and it's my show. One honorable, Keep the Fire Burning. Phenomenal. Yeah. Sweet Time. Take your old sweet time. Girl with the Heart of Gold by Bruce Hall. These are all off Good Trouble. I Do Want to Know and Can't Fight This Feeling off of Wheels. That Ain't Love. And In My Dreams from I can't remember. Life as We Know It. I'll throw it up since no one picked it. And then I did make a statement from the REO Speedwagon Greatest Hits, Here With Me. And then off of The Earth, A Small Man, a tuna fish, and a chicken. And a pit bull. I'm going to go with Love Is a Rock, which I think's a good, decent song. Yeah. The album's not that great, but there's some good things on that record. Of course, there's no Gary Richrath, so I get PTSD from it, but I've been all right all these years. That was the year that they played the Marion Popcorn Festival, too, on that tour. And I think I Grant with the Good Trouble picks. They're honorables, but geez. There are too many. You can't do this in 10 picks. You can't. All right. Anybody else? Honorables. Go ahead, DC.
No, I was just waving to Webb. He said, "Great show, panel." Thank you, Webb.
Oh, I thought you had an honorable.
No, I didn't pull any honorables.
Dave, you got some, Eric? All right, Eric.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave.
Honestly, most of my honorables have been said. People have mentioned Time for Me to Fly, Back on the Road Again. I mentioned earlier 157 Riverside. I did my list, but actually one that hasn't been mentioned at all is In Your Letter from High Infidelity. I mean, I know you gave the blanket High Infidelity, but
I have to. It's the best. Awesome.
Yeah,
that's like very much of a throwback to a 50s styled tune right there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Justin says Good Trouble is highly underrated. Bitches Brew. Exactly.
Yep.
All right, Eric, honorables.
Yeah, the one I'm surprised no one picked, Take It on the Run. But, I mean, we all, I think, agree.
I cheated and blanketed
it. You cheated, and that's okay.
No, I said Take It on the Run was really I had it as my number one.
Yeah. I've got In My Dreams. I always thought that was a good ballad from them. Here With Me, Golden Country, man, that almost made my
that's a good
list.
one,
Yeah. Only the Strong Survive. I do like Love Is a Rock, Grant. I think that's, and then I have Back on the Road Again too. That for my and Can't Fight This Feeling. So
Out of Season by Davey. That's a good
one too, Davey.
Mhm.
Yep.
Let the music do the talking. Great.
Yep.
But that's Joe Perry project. Come on, everybody. Here we go. Great show, guys. I learned so much today to dive into the REO catalog. My work is done for tonight.
Ash, I was astounded because a lot of this music I hadn't listened to in 40 years just because I didn't carry on any of my listening to REO as I moved past the mid 80s. So, I mean, it was a revelation to me.
There's
Hey,
Hack.
Guitar
He's
Hack.
late, but he's here.
I've
Does
got
he
a
have a
huge
wrench? Huh?
I'd say I've got a huge REO playlist on Spotify, and
I love it.
I play it very frequently in my car and whatnot. So
Elder, good for you. Stream some REO and get back to me on it.
It warms my heart that we're reaching the people.
Do you have the puppet around DC? Or where is the
Dick's? You're just
possum?
speaking
Where's
of
the
my.
possum?
Are you talking about my vaudeville partner, Dick Smallwood? Or are you talking about Sardini?
Sardini. Where's Sardini? Come on, man.
Yeah, what do you want?
There he is. Jeez. We've got
Hello, folks.
a mascot.
Freezing
We
my
don't see
ass
him.
off here. What?
We've got a mascot. We don't ever get to see him.
Hello, folks. I'm out of here.
Yeah, we're out of here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. It was fun. Dick Smallwood.
Yeah, he's back there. Can you see him? Well, wait a minute. There he is. Can you see that little man right there?
There he is, Dick Smallwood.
Smallwood.
Uh-huh.
He's my vaudeville pal.
Of
We do
course.
the
on
shows on the
vaudeville channel.
weekend
Right.
on my vaudeville channel.
You got to have him like a co-host.
He's awesome.
All right, everybody. Hope you had a good, fun evening tonight. Thanks for tuning in. We had like over 60 some people watching, which is pretty damn good.
We'll take it.
We'll take it. Eric's still going down his list. Take It on the Run's number 6. Sophisticated Lady was number 4, everybody.
oh, that's a good one.
Golden Country was 3. God. All I can say is, Eric, you better type fast. I don't know where your other ones are.
If
Anyway.
you luck, it's ticking.
Is Dick Smallwood married to Diana Cantor? Do-do-do.
Where's my snare?
Where's the snare? Roll with the changes. Number 7, ladies and gentlemen. Eric Robertson coming in at number 7.
Faster.
He can't type fast enough.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting.
All right. Well, I'm not going to keep everybody. He can put it down
In the comments. Put it in the comments. Eric.
Anyway, have a good. Tomorrow's Friday, and let's wrap the dog up. Let's wrap this dog up, and we will. I want to thank the panel, Dave, DC, Eric. It's always fun. Keep the fire burning, ladies and gentlemen. Number 8. Anyway, thanks for coming. What's happening tomorrow? Oh, I have to do something. No show tomorrow. This weekend, though, Rand will be back.
Oh.
And you can probably guess what we're going to be playing. More prog, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you better let that last prog song finish up from that show in November till you jump in with a new prog show.
What do you mean?
That last pick that Rand had on that show in November is still playing.
I'm a bit slow tonight.
They all can't be winners, folks.
Number 9, ladies and gentlemen, Eric Robertson back on the road again. Come on, Eric, get it in there. All right, everybody, we'll see you. Keep it clean and wrap the rascal and wrap it up. Wrap the rascal. All right, bye.